Okay, welcome people. This is a very serious video about very serious matters. We're talking about a little book written by Lumination. It's called Wealth, Money, Finance, okay? And it's all about global restructuring, January 2020, okay? The key thing I'm going to put down here is, I'll just write it down, okay? And then we'll just get on with it. Global restructuring, January 2020. Mark your calendars, people. There you go. I'm just letting you know now. It's the end of the world. There you go. That's the end of the video. Thank you. Bye. No, I'm just kidding. This book was written several years ago on a whim because of what my body and my intuition was telling me years ago. Okay, and I have to update and eventually publish it and make it available to people. I was just going to give it away for free, but then Lumination started, and it gave an opportunity to actually sell the book as a real life product. I didn't expect anybody to be interested because I was questioning my own intuition here. But I did my own research regarding the astrology, and I discovered my intuition isn't that bad. And I got the core themes of the book validated by some people who are very, very, let's say, capable in the world of financial astrology, okay? Because such a thing exists. There are people who are in charge of massive amounts of money who use astrology as a tool. Let's see. So we're talking about this little book, okay? It's already written. It's a very simple little book. It's for the lay person. You don't have to know anything about money or finance or anything. It's more like a storybook. And I'm not going to tell you all about it too much because the whole point is that you just buy it and read it and enjoy it. The key thing is that it's very much to do with what's happening right now and what just started recently. And we're actually here today, here on this planet Earth, living out these patterns in the heavens. Now, this is a very, very old chart here. It's weeks old now, and it's very beat up, but you've seen it on many of the videos. This is what we're talking about, okay? We just had a recent new moon, January 16th, 17th, 18th-ish, somewhere in there, for the Capricorn new moon. And at that time, there was an extremely powerful, unusual cluster, Venus, Sun, Moon, Pluto, Mercury, and Saturn, all piled up right here on that new moon, okay? That, from my perspective, was the green light when all this historical energy starts to activate for real. My personal experience with perceiving these energies was back here years and years ago during the Jupiter in Scorpio cycles, okay? Just so that you know, for a reference point. And here we are today, beginning this Saturn in Capricorn cycle. Now this, so that you know, this is a 3-year cycle. We're living through it right now. We just started, and it's going to go on for 3 years from now. And the key theme at the very, very tippy end of the book, I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but it's actually right here in print. It's somewhere here in print. It's underlined very precisely, the date of January 2020. It's right here, okay? This is pivotal to the understanding of this book and the themes presented in this book. Because what happens is, in January 2020, guess what happens? Saturn is in direct conjunction with Pluto. These are the heavyweight monsters of the solar system. You don't want to be on the wrong side of these energies here. Pluto is very easy to understand. It's just brutal, raw power. Not brutal, it's just raw power. So the question is, what are you going to do with all that power? Okay? Then you add Saturn, which is all about reality checking. It's the karma police. It's the reality check police. All of that stuff. You put those two together, you do not want to mess around. You do not want to be on the wrong side of the wave. This little book is like the whole idea of this is to wake people up a little bit and get you on the right side of the wave. Okay. The subjects of wealth, money, and finance will be very dominant, and it will probably play out in the global markets through things like currency wars, global trading, Federal Reserve banks, central banking issues, everything going into upheaval. Cryptocurrencies are going to become an absolute crazy mayhem. Just letting you know. Things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all those other crazy things. So just letting you know. And what it is all about is the world is trying to realign itself with value and what really is true. In other words, themes presented in this book here about how our wealth and money and our finances can be undermined by our own best efforts comes back to bite us, because essentially what it's all about is you can't keep printing money forever. So that's basically it. I don't want to say much more. The book is available through Amazon. You basically go to the Lumination.com website, and there's a little page specifically that will take you to this book. Okay, and this video might even appear on the website as a reference point for you guys. Okay, also another thing, by the way, what you might notice if you're into history and things like that, what does this date mean to you? Now, I'm not a historian. I really don't know a lot about American history or world history for that matter. But it's very, very, very hard for me not to notice, as your tarot illumination person who dabbles in astrology and plays around with tarot, hopefully for your best interests, it was impossible not to notice the correlation between what is happening here in January 2020 is like a repeat action replay of 1776. But my personal feelings are that back in 1776, when there was the USA, before it was the USA, and there were the British, GB, Great Britain, there was a massive, basically like a Declaration of Independence, as far as I recall, where everybody over here said, enough is enough from you guys. We're not willing to put up with this oppression anymore. Thank you very much. We're going to create our own world where we answer to a higher code, a higher law. Instead of monarchies, we have elected officials who work for us. We don't work for the monarchy. Our leaders work for us. Okay? I'm just sort of getting you in the flow here. But this time with 1776 repeated, my feeling here is that let's just make it official here on this video, in 2020, specifically January, we're going to be living 1776 all over again, but instead, the Declaration of Independence will be between the USA and the USA. So you figured that one out. It's everybody in the USA who wants to maintain their highest levels of integrity and authenticity, according to an amazing constitution that we have, that has been basically slowly corrupting over time. Basically, it's 1776 revisited, but it's now inside. The whole theater is inside the United States. And of course, what happens here in the United States is going to affect the rest of the world. So hold on to your hats, people. Okay, just saying. Bye.